Welcome back to Gamers8, the biggest esports festival in the world. We're here to watch some Rainbow Six on the Bravo channel. My name is Gibson, and as always, I am joined by Whippet. Well, all I'm going to say, folks, is whenever we got the fixtures 2 days ago, this man beside me was like a kid on Christmas morning. He was a CAG fan before Demo, before anyone else in Europe, before anyone in NA. He was a CAG believer, and now he gets to watch major champions w7m taking on CAG in an upper bracket semi-final to try get themselves a date into tomorrow's upper bracket final.
I have never been more excited for a match in my life. Listen, as you said, I have been a lifer for CAG. I believe in everything they do, from every iteration of this roster, every change they've made, I believe. Now, Gibby, you like to describe it as I've got a doghouse where I collect strays, and CAG have been a resident member of my stray collection for a very long time. But they have actually made some changes to the lineup coming into this event where they might be able to, I think, really find their stride. Of course, they're going against W7M, the major champ. You just see it on their middle of their jersey, the embossed logo of the Copenhagen Trophy, and that was, that not only the best, I think not only the best jersey here, but it shows how much it means. And we've got a map video to show you the playground of where CAG will be taking the champions of W7M.
Yeah, and no surprise to see the bans coming through the way they are so far. We're not going to get Chalet. We're not going to get Oregon in the mix either. That's Cafe that's been removed too. So straight off the bat, we're seeing a couple of maps that we saw, or a map that we saw already on the Bravo stream and a few maps in the other stream. That's Border eliminated as well. Whippet, this is a fun map ban that we have, but Clubhouse will be the first map.
Honestly, I was actually hoping CAG would be able to get Border through. It's where during the Invitational, they actually beat BDS in the group stages in that massive upset, and they were a very good team. They're Oregon, or Clubhouse, I should say. It's a very, very default map. We've just seen it with M80 inside it in G2, and it can be out very unique depending on the band. So let's see if we can get some spice with that one. Villa is next up. There's no way we've got the exact same maps again. And no, it's not. Cafe's already been banned out. But Villa going at a large, expansive map gives CAG the freedom to move around as well as W7M to use their aggressive style of play. And the decider is Theme Park. I like this. I like these three maps a lot, Gibby. I really do.
Well, again, you've got your map that everyone was the ins and out of. The map that I think is kind of tied with Oregon as being the most popular map in the pool, especially when you're trialing players, and that's Clubhouse. You've got Villa, which, as you and I know, in the Asia region, Villa is a map that's got a really high preference. In South Asia, in Japan, and in OCE, it had a pretty high preference as well. So no surprise to see that go through. And then finally, Theme Park, which is a map where I do think that you have to be very good on attack to win. One of the few maps that I think are still heavily defender favored. Again, it's my opinion. I know some people might disagree, some people agree. Usually you'll find a stat that'll back you up or go against you wherever you look. But all in all, I think the best attacking side will go ahead and win this. And this is where I think it's a really good time to talk about how these two teams attack. So W7M are the team that set the meta. They were the runaway bulls, the raging bulls as their name would put them in, all the way through last year. The big question was when they're going to win, not if. Everybody knew this W7M team were going to win. They went to SI and they lost to G2 and they made roster changes. And people were like, this team just made an SI final and they're making changes. They were a little bit limpy at the start of stage 1 for Brazil. But when they got to Copenhagen, they proved they are the best team in the world. We spoke about G2 playing to the meta. I think W7M said it. Every single player can play every single role. They don't necessarily have a support. And I think our friend Kenny pointed out that they've got statistically the most clutch player in the world playing for W7M. But they're playing a team that I know you're going to go ham on. And it's a team that play the meta, but with a different set of operators than everybody else.
I think you actually, before we went live, worded it perfectly. CAG, most teams have a strat book. They can go through, it says exactly what's going on. They have a strap bowl. They put their hand in, ring it around, and see what they're going to do next. They have a wide variety of operators, and we see this, especially from the Japan region, a lot of wild and crazier plays. Everyone speaks about how Veril, their smoke and glass combination with Maverick, how impactful that was during the major. Well, CAG from the same region, and they were dominant in the qualifiers to get here. They have mixed it up a little bit. New coach, new support staff coming in, both former members of Nora Rango, so one of the most kind of prestigious teams to ever emerge from the Asia Pacific region, coming in to perhaps reel in some of the craziness of CAG, which will hurt my soul to see them change that style of play a little bit, but it might mean more international and domestic success. But W7M set the meta. CAG play their own unique style of play, very aggressive, very in your face, and can be very difficult to contain, predict, and control.
They're one of the most fun teams in the world to watch, if not the most fun team because of the way they play. And I think when you watch the way they approach the game, the reason people get into gaming is to have fun. And I think that the players and the coaching and the background staff from CAG always remember that, between their skin inside the game, the way they develop that, the way they play, the way their players are on their socials. They're a team that embrace the fun side of the game. And I genuinely hope at some point they start to find some success in international play. Because, you know, I know you're their biggest fan in the world, but I think they're a team that I love to watch. But let's talk about W. Okay, go ahead.
I said I love to watch them, but I hate supporting them a little bit because it can be so painful. But enough of our little waffle, Gibby. It's time to crack straight into it. W7M versus CYCLOPS. Are you ready for this one? Clubhouse map number 1. Any predictions as we get ready for this one?
Well, in any other game, in any other world against CAG, Monty would be banned. And it's not going to change here. W7M going straight for Anatun with the very first ban. And that makes me sad because obviously Brazil have a completely different way of playing Monty than what CAG do. Anatun plays it like an entry, you know. Picture KZ on his best day. That's what sometimes whenever Anatun is on one, that's what he's like with the Monty. Osa is going to be banned again. So it's, you know, if W7M are going to get rid of the shield that CAG used so well, CAG are going to get rid of Osa, which means that W7M don't have that operator that you can use to aggressively take space. So a little bit of gameplay happening in the ban phase early on.
The really interesting thing would be what the defensive bans would be. We saw how influential the mirror was previously on Clubhouse between M80 and G2, and that's been banned away. And the final ban for W7M is going to be that Valkyrie. So, Solus, Azami, Fenrir, all available. Those are your 3 high-impact defensive operators, and I'm very intrigued to see how W7M play with those in their arsenal. They will start on the defense, and straight away, Philippox on that Azami. And well, a name, if you were watching last year's Gamer8, Philippox, someone you might remember, as he was part of MIBR, who unfortunately were a team that was knocked out in the very first day of competition. A curse, a streak. He will be very keen not to continue this year around.
If W7M get knocked out today, I would be very surprised. I still think that as it stands, you're as good as your last performance. I know that they played, you know, played a couple of events, but I still think that they're the best team in the world right now, and they play the game to perfection. KZ is nuts. They brought in Philippox, who, as a lot of you might know, isn't a support player, but he kind of plays that role for this team, but he can frag like a flex or an entry. This is going to be a clash of the Titans, but I have it on very good authority that, you know that meme? There's one thing that scares me, and it's this. I have heard that the one thing that scares Brazilian teams is CAG, and I have it from good authority from a world champion that is the case. So, are CAG going to be a thing of nightmares for W7M here on Clubhouse, or will W7M realize that it's just a dream and they can wake up?
2 members of CAG already inside of Oil Pit, and Blackwave finds the opening. KZ first to fall. And everyone speaks about how KZ is in that ghost conversation for Siege, and he's first to go. Now, I'll lay the scene out here. I might be a massive stan for CYCLOPS, but you know what? It's going to be an uphill battle. They are the underdogs in this matchup. No matter how much it hurts me to say this, no matter how much I say they're the best team in the world, facts are facts, and W7M will be a difficult task to do. However, opening pick early, but can they capitalize upon that? Already toying and putting pressure on site directly, but a lot of W7M have freedom to move around the other side of the map completely. And Black Ray spots his army, trying to make a dashing cross to contest oil pit long.
And the thing that I like is that Black Ray didn't get over-aggressive. He knew that his position was given up, so he didn't allow CYCLOPS to peek back the other way. He's still playing at the top of Adam, holding that skinny angle, but that will keep him relatively safe. But the thing is, they got pressure down blue really early, and that means that you've cut off a lot of options for W7M on defense. In reality, inside of oil pit, actually does not need to move. He can just keep the pressure on and keep that, as we like to call it, phantom pressure on the player on generator. Smokes are going to be tossed. They've now given up blue to KAG if they want to take it, but we're 1 minute and 10 seconds into the round, and there's finally looks like there's going to be an attempt to get that hatch open.
Yeah, I think KAG they wanted to go for something fast in oil pit, and blue deciding against it, and they still have the resources and tools they need for a more default execution. They've not opened up the kitchen hatch. Now they're doing that, but time is going to be a very key element. But with two players still holding on and contesting pressure down towards blue, you're going to feel the W7M are going to feel a bit of pressure. The Kiba barriers generating and giving CYCLOPS all the space he needs to make that oil pit play. But clearly a little bit nervous. Everything's picking up for a second engagement, and it's going to be a difficult one with the Ash ultimate loses it, and Herds finds one the Black Ray. KAG's advantage again so early, neutralized. Advantage W7M 4 versus 3, but the kitchen hatch is open, and it's KAG. Who knows when they'll decide to drop. A point of siege timing there for Suzu. Flop is there from Anatim, but W7M just like that, clean up shop, and they get KAG shot down. They'll take the very opening round here on Club.
And you can just tell by the way W7M take their gunfights that they are, they play on LAN all the time. The Brazilian League is playing in a LAN environment. They played obviously in the major and at SI at LAN. So, in reality, you're looking at these teams in Brazil and maybe NA last year as being the best, or the players that should know how to play LAN best. So you can tell by their gunfights that they're hyper aggressive. They back it. There's no latency issues whatsoever. And you can tell it with the way they play hyper aggressive in those gunfights. Something to keep an eye on as well for people who maybe might not be as, intimate with their knowledge of Brazil is Brazilian teams love using DMR. So when we get to attack, watch for a lot of those come into play as well. But I got to give CYCLOPS a lot of credit. He's held his own. He gave up generator for just a moment to regroup, took it back again, held that spot for a long time, and just really made KAG struggle with that push through blue side.
It wasn't the start I would have wanted from KAG. Right. You know what? I'm gonna. You know what, Gibby? As much as it pains me, I think for everyone who knows me personally, knows how much it's pained me. I'm gonna drop the KAG superfan aspect for a moment and say this is going to be too hard. I think prediction W7M domination. Unfortunately, changes to KAG's playstyle might slow them down too much in this map. Simply will be too much to deal with. Yeah, CYCLOPS on the Solace will be a massive problem to shut down. Hunting drones early and has that ability to choke out information. Look already at how many drones got burnt away. That's 3 taken away in a very early stage. And they continue, or will they struggle with that lack of information now?
Yeah, and the big thing as well is, W7M, we know their style of play inside and out. Well, but Brazil is technically our pseudo second home now at this point, having worked BR in stage 1, and it's a team that I think that a lot of teams at Gamers8 will want to take the scalp of as well. Once you become a major champion, you get a massive target printed on your back. So now we go up to CCTV cache, and we're seeing that 2-man defense on rafters again. KZ's in position by the window to stop anybody from pushing through. JV's in position then to stop the push inside of garage, so they're going to work as a tandem. And then CYCLOPS will just bide his time, but Anaton seems very aware that Solace is in place, but he misses his opportunity to hit the shots. And well, CYCLOPS, he doesn't need a second opportunity. He will take down Anaton, and now Black Ray on the hunt to trade it back. He was just a little bit too slow, a little bit late to the party, and now CYCLOPS will know that there's a drone if he uses his Solace gadget as well. really good aggression on defense here, and he manages to find that kill. And this is the player that they brought in to replace a support, by the way.
Yep, support player, by the way, for w7m is CYCLOPS, and Herds will find one more onto a Curly, and I think this round is just going to taper out to dominance once again for w7m. Chipsy walks up and finds two on red stairs. w7m caught napping! Kag, just like that, found three! The major champions caught napping the Herd! Will calm the nerves and basically guarantee the round is won. You don't want to rely on winning gunfights against Brazilian players, no matter how good you are. They're just built to something different over there. And they'll get caught with a magnet and the cross. Well, CYCLOPS there to find three. Chipsu nearly made something heroic happen. Great gun skill to do so. And a very early timeout being called by Kag.
But Kag do Kag things as well and just send someone up red stairs and almost completely open up the defense. But w7m, 2 rounds on the trot. And just like that, Kag have elected to take their first timeout again. And this is something that I cannot emphasize enough. I am such a huge fan of the early timeout, because look at it this way. You take an early timeout if things are going wrong. You can make the changes that you need to. And 9 times out of 10, the opposition are going to use their timeout at some point in the game as well. So you know that usually you're going to get a second opportunity to talk to your team.
Couldn't agree more. It means it gives you more time to correct mistakes if you see them early, which is the big thing you got to remember. Sometimes the coach might leave it a little bit later because they don't want to upset the flow and rhythm of their team and rely on that internal problem solving without having to come into it. So a Kag, very early call. Normally you see teams waiting until the 3rd round, but 2nd round already bringing that out. That to me is a bit of a caution sign. A team that we've seen so much aggression from in the past, it feels like w7m's playstyles neutralized that. They can't do what they want. They don't have the freedom to do what they want. And not only that, look at the players they're against. You can't rely on your crazy strats or your in-your-face style when you have Daisy, JV2, Herds, Nate, and CYCLOPS on the other side. They'll win their ones no matter what you do. And that's what w7m are so good at, as well as great reactions and great overall coordination and cohesion as a team.
Bomb located by
all in all, again, it's another match of contrasting styles again, because w7m so good at the simple stuff, right? They do it so well, and that's what they built their success on. Kag bring out, as we said, the strat bowl where they pull it out and say, okay, this is the strat that we're using. Then they reach into the other bowl and go, right, these are the operators that we're going to use. But looking at it this time, you know, you've got Anatun on Ying, Black Ray in play again. Last time they brought Ying, which was the last round, CYCLOPS was able to shut Anatun down. So he needs to make sure that he either wins that gunfight or gets out of it and has an impact later on the round. What I like about w7m's defense here is they've fully reinforced this side of the map. They've given up reinforcements elsewhere to force Kag to use utility. They may even need to use a second set of hard breach to open up that main wall in towards Cash. And while that wall is solid, it means JV92 can play in position, CYCLOPS can still play in position as well. It's a puzzle that needs to be cracked by Kag.
Do they have the resources to do it? That's always the question I want to ask. They're so keen on taking these gunfights. You gotta feel like, are they going to be able to break down the puzzle? And when they get those gunfights, can they win them? An aggressive push, Chips is already deep inside of C, or inside of server, I should say. Keep a barrier removed. Just waiting, biding time. I believe the reinforcement actually happened on that single wall under the cover of that Kiba to buy some time. And cash control gathered decently timely fashion as well from Kag. They can work with this. But the question is that jacuzzi wall open yet? And no, it's not. Can they get that open without wasting too much time and resources to get that done?
Well, here comes the second attempt at a breach, and KZ will just step back in towards the bomb chassis now. Will probably peek once it opens, and he does, spraying through, as I always like to see. Players get aggressive on defense when the breach is open, because you can always catch the attackers napping. Now, Suzu C will begin to drone out logistics to see if that logistics hatch drop is an option, but he will find Nade playing in the little cubby, waiting to see where that push comes from. But again, CYCLOPS is playing below, and the big thing this time around, though, is he doesn't have the C4. But guess what? Nade does, and he's playing on site.
And Nade, one of those players that you're going to trust on site. One of the highest clutch percentages of any player in the world in Siege, and actually in the history of Siege. Candelas go out and they'll try and capitalize upon that one, but Nade will find a shotgun blast. Anderton and Kag might begin to crumble, but it's going to be Suzu C and Arculi to find one apiece. Herds and Philippox pop off and mean it now at 3 versus 1. Case can't go down safely, meaning it's all down to that rifle in the hand of Suzu C, but too many angles are checking, too many members of w7m to deal with. Herds gets credit with that final pick, and it's going to be another round of the Raging Bulls, your major champions, w7m, looking complete control here on Club.
But I want to point out that you can tell w7m have done their homework as well. Because again, we've heard that Brazil teams are afraid of CAG. So what better way to counter it than understand the way they play, which, by the way, is a lot easier said than done. Now, if you look at Philippox, right? He's playing, so if he knows the push is coming from, you know, over by CCTV cache, he'll play by main stairs and wait for the backstab, because CAG always loved to send at least one player to try backstab into site very late on. So Philippox is really successfully shutting it down. You saw them get a little bit of success from it in the, was it the first or second round, where Chibisu was able to push up red stairs when the rest of the push was coming through breach and get a multi-kill. So really impressive the way w7m are saying, Philippox, we know you're incredible, but we want you to make sure that our flank is secure. Make sure that they're not going to sneak into sight behind us.
Round 4 we go, and it's going to be back to the basement for this one. We saw the opening round how the intention was to go a little bit quick inside of blue and have that split push occur. Now it looks like w7m are toying with the idea of their own presence, and well, spawn peek as he Blackray takes a chunk of damage early, and that was at the hands of Herds. Not an ideal position to find yourself in early. You don't want to lose a player like that. Blackray has been very good for Kag in the tenure of this team. A lot of drones sent out, hunting out Herds, but no one's behind it to pounce. Cautious of an entryway instead of garage, and I think Herds, you might want to not overstay your welcome. Go back to sight and aggressive, but Blackray's in! No, here they go. Straight down main stairs. They found that opening, and this is what they do best. But the player photo might be a problem. The shot goes up. They're inside of sight! JV2 gets one, the Blackray, but this is the problem. Chipsu inside. Doesn't know the players inside of 900, inside of Moto, and JV2 shuts them down. A miscommunication. But Kag seemingly has separate teams within them, sending off, you know what, we'll send 2 players, get aggressive, push down, get site control, and see what happens from there. But 3 versus 3, the best position Kag have been to get around.
Why is this not a best of 5? I wish this was a best of 5. w7m 3 versus 3 with a 3-round lead, but you saw the aggression from Kag. Impact trick comes through to stop the first part of the breach, but Arculi makes his way down blue and finds a kill anyway. So now we're seeing the Kiba barriers being used to shut down the push. Now, is there a better operator in the game for dealing with it? Well, other than Habana, I think Ash is pretty good at dealing with those Kiba barriers, but I think they may have been used already. And look at this. He's going to go prone and look and see if he can find any feet playing inside of blue. But again, a minute and 20 seconds to go. That's still an eternity in Siege. And it feels like we've already played about 3 minutes in this round.
A C4 finds lots of damage on the Ash, but again, not enough to down her. Kill crosses straight into Arculi. Philippox falls, leaving Nade alone, but with the highest clutch percentage of anyone in Siege history, I wouldn't doubt this. Finds one, 2 more to go, make it 1 more to find. Nade looks unstoppable in positions like this, and it's down to Anaton. Alone, 45 seconds, all the time in the world with smokes in pocket as well. A rotation call and hip fire through main center. That will only telegraph his play! But Nade swings wide with the DMR, hits too hard. Kag find the opening round here on Club.
Remember what we said about DMRs on land. The audio cue was there. Nade swung, but it wasn't enough. Kag take their first round. It is 3-1 now. And again, that round had everything. There was a rush down main stairs that was semi-successful. It got a couple of kills. Then we had Acro just chilling inside of blue for a minute and a half, picking up a kill as well. And it all came down to a 1 versus 1 after a great nade double. But Kag had come out in top. Do you remember the definition of Kag? It was doing things wrong and coming with the right results. I think that's what that round was. Task failed successfully.
Yeah, it's almost a miraculous thing to watch this team work. Again, The best way to put it is, right, you've got your squad of 5 players. Within that, you have, like, separate little fire teams doing their own thing. You have 2 players with the intention of getting a pick inside a bar and just sending it down main stairs, straight in the site. The fact is that there was no caution, there was no hesitation. The decision-making was, yep, let's go. And that's why they're so dangerous to teams who aren't ready for it. W7m still in control of this matchup, but we had a little taste of what KAG can do when given the space to execute in their own style.
It's the guys who cast KAG in the regionals in every stage. They must have the most fun job in the world. Like, casting Japan must just be a blast. Now, Pox will open up that line of sight down in towards Adam that he can use from below, and he'll also try to bandit trick here close towards that breach. JV92, he's got sole charge of playing inside of rafters, but again, it will be made easy with the fact that he is playing Wamai, so the longer he stays alive, the more of an impact he will have as his gadgets keep recharging. The same can be said about KZ, who's in charge of watching that backstab all the way over on the far side of the map. But the big thing is, they've already got bottom garage open, and that means that the player on top of rafters just has to be a little bit careful that they don't sneak through and get a bit of an angle. But the bandit tricking is working so far. It's been a bit of a problem. 1 minute and 10 seconds gone, and they're still trying to remove those charges from place.
Not gonna be easy. Not gonna be easy at all. W7m will make it difficult every step of the way. The glass in play means Anaton's certainly cooking something. Black Ray down below, cautious of an entryway or caution of pressure down below in basement. You can try and up nade, and that's exactly what the intention is. The nade goes out, the nade is perfect, and Suzuki can get this thermite down. Philippox doesn't even dabble, tempt the idea going for that bandit because the second nade is likely to follow the first after the clear. And now, breach is open, and that's all KAG really can. Very one-dimensional, very one-sided play, and I have a sneaking suspicion the 2 smoke grenades and pocket of Anaton, that's what this execute's all about.
Yeah, and the big thing is no warden. So now Ackley will drop, and there's the fear, and just like that, 3 members fall as they tried to 3-2-1 go. I don't know what was longer, the 3-2-1 go or the time it took for the round to end after that.
Yeah, that was outstanding. That was, listen, I'm all for quick executions. You know, they can be fantastic. They can catch your opposition napping. And I think it went the other way there. KAG just send it in, and W7m are like, okay, we'll win our ones, and the round is over. Flawless victory for W7m. They get themselves 1 more round victory on the defense. Complete control. They are your major champions for a reason. KAG, not the only APAC team represented here. Can they find a little bit more momentum with their final offensive round so they can get themselves back in the fight against W7m?
Back to Gym Bedroom. W7m won this successfully last time around. Are they going to be able to do the same? Well, you look at what KAG did to try win the last time. Well, it was pretty standard. They pushed over from the CCTV cache side, and then with a minute left, they decided to just vault in the master bedroom window and see what happens. And they almost pulled the round out of the bag that time around. Again, I expect them, in theory, to try do the same. They're going to open up that breach over by CCTV cache side, try to take control of that side of the map, and then at some point push in through gym window, master bedroom window, or drop through the hatch. Again, this is KAG. It takes a brave man to make a guess at the start of the round what you think they're going to do. But looks like JV92 is going to try and meet them at the point of entry, at least for the first 20 or 30 seconds, and then he drops back behind his shield.
For W7m, the real incentive is to not overextend, not engage, not play by the rules of CYCLOPS. That's what CYCLOPS want you to do. They want you to peek. They want you to give you openings. You know, take that round where the 3K in basement happened instantaneously. You give an opening, they'll just go. They don't need an invitation. They'll just kick down the door and say, hello, we're inside a site. So W7m, a safe decision to not necessarily meet them on the entry, but just wait, bide your time, because eventually this team is kind of likely to overextend. KAG are going to make mistakes. It's in their DNA.
And the thing is, though, when they do it right, they are phenomenal. Again, you look back to that game against BDS back at SI. They were brilliant. Obviously, this is a slightly different iteration. Their stage 1 was relatively...
Oh, no!
Well, the good thing is there's nobody there
There's a
But
second
there
one on
is
red
another
stairs.
frost
There's a
map.
second one
Yeah.
on red. Who's wrong? No, I hope no one walks into it.
Well,
Okay,
actually, he's going to get
two.
himself yeah, 2 on the board. But then KZ and Herds will level the sides once more because punches come in bunches in this game with it.
I mean, honestly, it seems like CAG send a haymaker and instantly w7m reply back. Both players or teams swinging for the fences, it feels like. Jibsu toying, tempting at the windows, looking for anything through the prone level holes. Maybe a foot, maybe a leg, anything. Flashbang sent out to get control, some pressure inside of construction. No one in Logi, but CAG don't seem to know that just yet. They can walk in and take construction without really any pressure, any fight for it. Minute left to work with, in a good position for both these teams still.
And again, you can see the plan that's being put into place. You got Shibisu playing on the window. KZ's going to hold in case he decides to have a peek over towards the master bedroom one. Shibisu's doing the other, thinking maybe he can wait KZ out, and KZ might be tempted to rotate back towards the mattress in the engine. 35 seconds to go. You can see the rotate. They're bringing everybody over to the window side. KZ decides now's the time to go, and he gets himself one. Is traded back, but it's a 1 versus 1 all of a sudden. Nade with the SMG-11 gets a little bit windy, and that allows Suzu to go and try to get the case down. He sprints to try bait him off, then falls back into cover. Now we've got that cat and mouse game of whose nerve will go first. Nade stepping through again, and once more the wind is a little bit strong inside of logistics, and Suzu is going to go for 3rd time lucky. And Nade,
yes,
well, you got to push this time.
No!
Oh,
Suzu had time to stick it. You'll feed for that one. The shotgun blast misses, but Nade doesn't. We lose clutches. Huge performance there. Nade massively confident in those clutch plays. Suzu, 1 extra second. You had time to stick it. Narrow margins. You just got to feel and live in the world of what ifs in that position. And CAG will only have 1 offensive round victory to their name of moving into the side swap.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel like that was a big opportunity for CAG to win that round. They did have time to stick. Nade didn't even put a lot of pressure pushing back that time. He had more than enough time to get the case down and get out the window. But just like that, you give a player like Nade the opportunity to clutch out a round. Well, you know, it's as simple as it can get for a player like him. He's almost had an incredible clutch already again today, but he got destroyed by a DMR on the sprints. But it's 5-1. w7m playing the way that you expect the current major champions to play. And as I said, I still don't think we've even seen as good as w7m can be. Because when you consider stage 1 of Brazil, they weren't phenomenal. They were good, but they weren't great. At the major, they were great. And I think this team is still on an upward arc. This team, if they win this event, they could go on to be a dynasty. I said, there we go. I said the word. People were wondering how long it would take. People wondering how long it would take. I said it today. Day 1. Get it out of the way early.
You know what? Realistically, I can't argue with your discussion, right? You know, we go into Montreal and w7m versus G2 is a great grand final. G2 win it, and instantly the dynasty conversation comes into it again. That's because the legacy. G2 is going to find KZ early. Huge pick, and that's going to be KZ, one of the most influential members of w7m gone early. Back to my point, you know, we almost thought G2 was going to launch a second dynasty in this game. w7m do actually look like genuine contenders to be able to do that. They on that upward trajectory, always performing, always improving, and always shaping the meta. One of the most dangerous teams to play against. They've been slowly building this world-beating roster. Shibsu in a difficult position, chased down by Herds. Herds really wants to get this trade, does not want to enter the Lion's Den, knows a threat's inside a bar. That's going to be flawless and a great swing from both players. Damage on the Herds, and Anton needs to play a patient game, but drops Photo Hatch and returns back to the site. Minute 50 left of this round.
Yeah, and I think that even though CAG have got that 1 kill, they've done their job. That's a really good start. 1:40, all back towards site, give away vert control. It's okay. Now you got to turtle up and don't let w7m get a free kill and get themselves back into the round. Philippox will open up those long lines of sight that should prevent anybody from pushing close towards Herds. It'll get rid of the drone or the camera for him as well. But someone's going to peek. Someone is going to peek towards Herds, and you can see Azami having a look down by box. There you go. Black Ray will peek and will find the kills. And honestly, this is just good. All CAG need to do now is relax. And that can be one of the hardest things for some teams to do whenever they've got a numerical advantage on defense.
You can almost see the wheels turning in every player, in the head of every CAG player. They want to peek, they want to take the fight, they want to engage. It's almost difficult for them to sit still, and that's going to be one of their problems. Historically, what cursed them with the defense so many times in the past, the inability to sit still. But it looks like they're a little bit more well-regimented this time, not giving w7m a way into this round and waiting for that execution to arrive. So Nade on that hatch needs to drop, has smokes in back pocket, and a crop to Philippox holds the case at bottom main. Is this going to be a bait and switch? They might think it's going to be a full execution, a full send from hatch, but it's going to be arriving from bottom main. Philippox inside of sight through the Ash Rush, and might just sneak this plant in back sight. Nade needs to cover, it needs to be solid, but that's going to be a great string from Anton, and Black Ray finds one on the plant, and JV92 all alone, and Black Ray gets one more flawless round for CAG.
Much better. Much better. I love the plan from w7m to push it down main with the sledge, but honestly, CAG played that much better. Whenever I said they needed to relax, that's exactly what they did. They didn't get too aggressive. They didn't throw away any lives unnecessarily. Really good round from CAG. And is it a start? Yes, they're still a long ways away from catching up to w7m in this game. But they do need to just focus on it one round at a time. Now, one thing I will say, we keep getting glances of that jersey. You brought it up at the start of the show. Seeing that little badge, the crest in the middle of the jersey, like what they do in other sports whenever teams win major events, it looks so cold on that w7m jersey. I'm a huge fan.
Well, you know what, Gibby? While we're in our prep phase for this one, hold this jersey out there at the Gamers8. What do you think? Are you gonna say w7m?
Yeah, I think. Well, right.
5 seconds to insertion.
Falcons are obviously up there with a shout.
Attackers have located a
Okay.
bomb.
You have last
But
year's
I
Falcon jersey.
Defuse a bomb.
I do. I think w7m's got the nicest one. What did chat think, actually?
As much as it pains me to say, Gibby, I agree. w7m's jersey, I think, is the cleanest at this event. Oh, XG, close second. I think the rebranded white jerseys look impeccable. Chat, what do you think? Curly has just run out of strip and found Nade. Okay, CAG have a complete confidence on the defense to do whatever they wish, and the case goes cold, but KZ quickly recovers it.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. Shock and awe. You know, as I like to call it, guerrilla warfare by CAG. Hit and run, get out of there, and leave w7m with no chance to get the trade game. Now they're going to get that main jacuzzi breach open, but you look at the way that it's being defended by CAG, they've brought the Fenrir instead. So obviously you don't have the Mira, so you got to find another way to slow the push. So the minute that fear pops off, you'll see someone peek across. Maestro's in position as well, so you'll get lots of intel off those bulletproof cams, again, as long as you don't get too greedy trying to do some damage. The foundations that have been laid in this defense by CAG are really good. I just hope that the materials they use to build the structure of it itself are as good as the foundations.
I like that analogy, Gibby. I like that a lot. The big thing for me is now you need to play to the advantage. You don't need to overextend. You don't need to take careless risks. You need to make calculated risks. Of course, that's the game of Siege. But KZ has strolled inside of bathroom and can cause a lot of problems now. And Nade will go deep and try to clear off construction door. Blackberry wise to it and falls back. Anderton takes a lot of damage from a second nade as well. Left in deep, and finished off by Herds. And w7m have site control at this point. But the Solace down below presents a difficult problem to solve. They'll know exactly where that case is going on and have potential to stop it. And while Herds from KZ in a difficult spot as he can get denied from below.
And this is the thing that I love about w7m. Any one of the 5 can take the case in any given round. Philippox gets a great cover. Arculi is a little bit too slow on the attempted flank, but KZ will dip himself back into Shire and wait to find it. It's a 4 versus 3. Great peek coming through from Black Ray, but Herds trades one back and he gets a triple on the round. But there's Black Ray making it a 2 versus 1. Herds and Philippox taking on Black Ray. Now the Maestro cams can start feeding this information to Black Ray. He's got information, but he's still got two very good players to clean up if he wants to win the round. He's going to get aggressive. He steps up, gets close to the breach, peeks around the side, does a little bit of damage to Sledge, but he forces him to come off the plant. Pre-fires, gets one, pre-fires again, and he gets it. Black Ray wins another round for CAG, and that was a huge play. But is that another case of pros don't fake, and should w7m have stuck that plant?
I think the cover would have been good enough if you stick that plant, the win conditions established. They decide to make the decision. Let's hunt this. Let's play for kill. And well, Black Ray played it perfect. All the pressure, everything amounted to that in a 1 versus 2. One was a 1 versus 3. Clean, crisp, and clinical. And CAG get themselves another round. The defense might be where they absolutely find themselves. I'm here for it. 5 through the scoreline on CAG. They've got a pulse.
I am loving every minute of this game, and I know that there's a lot of CAG fans watching this right now thinking, you know what? At first I was saying CAG is a joke, but now they're starting to look really good on these defenses. And you know what? CAG are adjusting on the fly here. They're saying, okay, if you're going to put a frost mat on red stairs and a frost mat behind the shield on that little corridor, we're going to do the exact same and see if we can capture w7m with the exact same trick. But no surprise to see Solace going down the ground floor, going down to basement, and trying to get that opening pick on any w7m players who try to just sneak their way in from the bottom of the map and work their way up.
Did not expect this turn of events. I did not expect to see such a confident display from CAG on the defense. I knew it would favor them. I knew it gives them that extra bit of comfort. They're not as under pressure on this side. I'm very intrigued if this momentum can continue. Found the trick comes out by Annington, and it seems to have done the job delaying some time. And w7m waiting and trying to do best they can. The EMP gets sent off to turn the window, catches Annington. Herds finds one as well. Suzuki and Anton are the very first to fall, and that leaves site very exposed. Rafters is open, and w7m look to have complete control early. Solace crosses into construction, needs to take this difficult fight, but runs out of options. That single wall is now open, and that adds a bit of hesitation, a bit of anxiety in the mind of going near construction.
Well, this is the thing. The amount of pressure w7m have put on just by opening those 2 walls and keeping Garage free for themselves now, right? So now for Acrylate, it's very difficult to rotate through construction. He's going to be very wary about pushing up and very careful. You can't rotate across site because the main breach is open. So in essence, you've forced Acrylate to try to retake from the hatch, and that's what he's going to do. KZ gets another kill, but there's Acrylate to pull back one, but he's going to get shut down as his position is put into place. And now there's Herds rounding it out. But again, that all came down to just a simple thing of getting Garage, opening up main breach, and opening up construction breach. By doing those things, the defending side don't have the ability to be fluid around the map anymore, and it makes every single fight linear for the attacking side.
That was, I think, a way more in-character performance from w7m. That's what we expect from them. They were presented with a problem. There's a bandit trick. They didn't want to clear it from down below in lounge, so they worked out a way to do it from CC window, and Annington gave up that freebie. KZ found another one across the map, and since then, they played the numbers game perfectly, and they controlled the round from there. w7m, map point here on Clubhouse. Can CAG show a little bit more life? Can they keep themselves in this fight? Or is it a little bit too little, or too little too late from them? w7m in control of the series so far. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it and we need to go to Villa next.
See, this is the thing. If we were doing predictions before this, I was going to say w7m would win, but I had a feeling that CAG are very good at catching teams by surprise in the first map of a best of 3. But I think this is a case of just the class of w7m. And even though CAG are throwing so much at them, they're just staying calm and collected. Now w7m have gone into their BR strat book this time around, and they've brought themselves a blitz, they've brought themselves a ying. You saw a little bit of something similar to this in the last game that we had with G2 taking on M80. But this is one of those Brazil classic style strats. You use the blitz alongside the Ying to cause so many problems for the team. It allows you to take map control. Again, with blitz, you're a little bit more open than you would be with, for example, a Monty, but they're going to use it to the exact same effect. And here it comes. Philippe is going to go down dirt as quick as he can, and if he finds an easy pick, they're going to push really hard. But there's the fear going off, which will signal to Chibisu that the push is going to come through Freezer. And this could be massive. And you can tell that nobody is going to push. But here we go. Chibisu is going to get it stuck in the kitchen. He gets shut down. And well, it could be the credits coming down in this map now as KZ gets the opening pick.
That's a case of what could have been. If the picks went the way of Kag there, this could have been a very open and short round, but Philippox might be able to directly charge straight into sight and cause a problem. Hits that keeper barrier once and will just invite that pressure. Rings the dinner bell, perhaps saying, yeah, I'm thinking about going straight through, but a retreat all the way back to the kitchen. What are w7m cooking? Is Anaton being let cross for free back in the kitchen? They know. It looks like w7m have no idea. KZ and Nade so close to each other. And that Flores drone used to make Vert. Urge will fly one off in the distance, but Anaton becomes a problem inside of kitchen, but shut down. Left in DBNO. And here comes the full might and power of w7m.
Suzy C throws the pocket fear, the FNAT behind him, which means anyone pushes in blue will get blinded. Fleetbox will stun and flash his way for Fox, but there's nobody in position. There's the freebie though. Fleetbox, much like iconic early on, finding that kill, pushing through dirt, but Suzu C pulls one back. It's all down to him against Fleetbox, Herd, and JV92, but JV92 sees him, wins the round, and wins that map. Map 1, W7M, I say, the script has been followed by the letter, I would, in most people's opinion, but that was impressive by Kag at times. But the one thing I will say, Whippet, where was Blitz for them? Kag are known to take Blitz, even when Monty's available. Where was it? Isn't it Black Ray that we tend to see on the Blitz?
I think it was a more reserved version of Kag we saw today. I think they're going through a bit of change with new coaching staff coming into trying to find a new identity with that roster. So they don't always have that same in-your-face style or always rushing. We saw that in the defense. They were more reserved when they needed to be. They didn't overextend in the rounds. They had the early defense advantage. But in all honesty, in all reality, as you said, that game followed the script. W7M are your major champions for a reason, and they looked in complete control. So the next map up is going to be Villa. I do predict, unfortunately, for all the Kag fans, including myself, I think it's going to be more of the same.
I think you're right, but let's bring up the highlights of that game to see how, get a reminder of how it played, because one thing's for sure, there was clips. That round from Philippox was huge. And this is the same round. Chibisu just says, you know what, I'm going to walk up red and get myself a triple. This is the Nade clutch that almost was, but he gets destroyed by the DMR. KZ pretty much winning a round for himself there as well, jumping out the window. You know what? This game, even though it was, 7-3 in the end, had so many clippable moments. So, if you were like a tier 3, tier 2 player and you're putting your reel together of your big moments, this game had tons of them.
Yeah, I did. It certainly will. I mean, that's what happens when you have teams that I think that stylistically make a good matchup for that one. But map 1 is in the history books. We're going to Villa next. We'll go to a quick little break before that. We'll see you all when it's time for map number 2 of Kag versus W7M. OXG, cough, cough, OXG. Is that what you're saying?
You really want to get NA up in arms against you, don't you? You had it earlier when you spoke about Spite. Now you're speaking about it. Now you're speaking about the NA region.
It's not on purpose. It's just the results. All I'm saying is an EU team beat BDS beat NA's OXG on the A stream. You know, it was domination. They smashed them. I mean, Fox his own word. He said BDS owned them in that one. It was a strong performance from the reigning Gamers8 champions BDS on the A stream. But into the ban phase we go for this one. Villa, map 2, w7m versus KAG. Osa, Monty once again. Not really surprised. No team wants to let KAG have the Monty. So w7m, even though they're likely going to use it themselves at some point, are going to take it away. Not want to risk it. Valkyrie removed. Now, this is always the one that interests me. Will KAG ban away the mirror as they tend to do so? Or will this be one of the newer, higher impact defense operas that we've seen added recently? It's the Warden. Okay. So are we ready for Ying executes by any chance?
Yeah, well, you look at the bans that came through. I think so. You look at the way the KAG were playing on the last map. They're the team that's going to go into this one starting on defense. They like to use Ying. Get rid of the Warden and use it to your advantage a little bit later on in the day. Now, with w7m starting on attack, it does give KAG the opportunity to build up a couple of rounds here on
Gibby. Perfect synergy with the teams.
Yeah, there wasn't in the last game, though. There was somebody on KAG who didn't have the KAG skin, which is the best one in the game, by the way. I will openly say that one. I'm a huge fan.
You ever catch me in ranked? I've always got a KAG background on. That's simple.
No, you don't. You've got the liquid one. What are you lying to chat for?
No, I don't have the liquid one on. I've got the KAG
one on.
You do.
Why are you lying to chat, bro? Come on.
Later tonight, when we're stacking, I will show you that everything is the KAG skin on my account. I'll prove it to you.
My KD cannot take any more of a hit. I will not be stacking with you later, okay?
Yes.
I even saw someone in chat call you out. Someone in chat called you out for your ranked performances earlier.
I knew exactly who it was that called me out in chat earlier. And it's a bit rich from them. They're the biggest elo troll I've ever seen. So,
no, I want to say something straight away, though.
Okay,
now that we're in this round. We're seeing one of the new gadgets in use, right? The observation blocker. And look at the positioning of it from KAG. It tells me they're going to play somebody on red stairs straight away. They've put it across that red stairs. It's going to go across Bookcase and Wolf, meaning anybody swinging that way or using a drone from that direction won't be able to see them playing on red. It's a gadget that I really like. I still don't think we've found the perfect usage for it, but it's a good addition to the game.
I think so as well. I mean, right. I've not seen it utilized to its best. Thing is, it's a very situational secondary gadget to bring. Are you better off at proxies or BPs? Mostly. But if you have a unique strategy, for example, Logi Hatch on Clubhouse, that might be an area where it's useful. Don't know how impactful it's going to be here on Villa. Early damage done the Black Ray, an aggressive fight towards Herds instead of Master Bedroom. Nothing connects now. Do you see that zigzag you're talking about? That does give them a little bit of freedom. That little square, so you have to invasively drone to get that information. But Philippox doesn't need that. He's going to be able to collect one and likely a second for free down below instead of Art. Annington very low. There's a shotgun to work with in the mute jammer, causing a bit of disruption in the Inox goggles of Jackal.
Yeah, take off the glasses, Philippox. Focus on your ones. But again, why is there 3 players down by Art? You know, this is just KAG doing KAG things.
KAG slaying, so why not?
Yeah. So Anatun's like, you know what? I'm low HP. I'm going to play my life. KZ will say, okay, well, if you're going to play it, I'm going to take it. And now they've got a great opportunity.
Whoa.
That nade, although it doesn't pick up kill, it does get rid of that Kiba barrier, which gives them a one-way to play, looking over towards red stairs again. So they're doing a lot of pressure onto this KAG hold. Now, you've got yourself a 5 versus 3, but again, in this scenario, you cannot get too confident, because if you give KAG an opportunity, we've seen Shibisu do it a few times already, they can make the sides even pretty quickly.
All it takes is a single engagement to go their way, and this round could get open wide up. Again, they still got a lot of control to work with, and a shot like that's perfect! JV9 at 2 falls. One more for KAG, and we're level. What a clean shot. Herds might be able to walk in, but the Fenrir mine will slow this down and make that a very awkward engagement. Decides to prone on in, slithers and crawls, but it does not matter. Chips through the MP7, finds it and connects perfectly. 20 seconds, and surely KAG can hold the line now. Nade, next man to step up, and KZ has a great angle deep inside a vault. And this case should go down unless something goes criminally wrong for the side of W7M. The cover looks good, but BlackRay's on the flank and finds a second in the round. This is cracked wide open. The player on Sunny Balcony critical to this, and this fight so important. That's down now to Suzuki all alone and caught out by that rotation held by KZ. W7M find the opening run on Villa, but KAG, a very, very thin margin of defeat that round.
Yeah, and they did a read. They realized that there was nobody left inside of Aviator. So once you open up that wall to study and you can see Vault, and if you get a player behind the door, it's pretty much over. There's no way that KAG can get back in. We did see the attempted flank by BlackRay going around the side, but if we're being honest, once you hold that cross and you have the players in that position, it's so difficult for the defensive side to win. Again, BlackRay gave them the chance. That's what I was speaking about. They always find a way to give themselves a chance in a round, but I think getting over the line can be a bit of a problem sometimes. So, look, they're taking the winner's mindset. It's like, you know what? We played that site. We move to the next one. Win or not, we go to our next opportunity. We go to Trophy Statue. Looking at the KAG setup again. Remember we spoke about how they do things that are in the meta, but they do it with a different set of operators. So they do it, you know, with operators people don't expect to see. Well, they're doing the standard Trophy Statue setup, but when you look at the lineup they have, they're bringing a Castle. You know, they've brought the Frost, they've brought the Fenrir, which is important, and they're bringing Jaeger instead of like a w7m. So same overall or same strategy at an optical level, but there's a lot of differences with how they're going to do it with the people that they have.
Okay, interesting take, Gilly.
Didn't listen to a word I said, did you?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. For a brief moment, I looked down. I see there's a conversation chat talking about who's the GOAT of all time, best of all time in Siege. Obviously, it's Anaton. Simply put, conversation ended with that. BlackRay will refresh the keeper barrier the moment it's destroyed, reinforcing that position and holding on more control. Looks at aggressive and try and find a pick on this window, and sees the head as the player crosses. Very aggressive hold from KAG, but I think it might be wise to ease off that pressure for a little bit.
Yeah, and look, when you have people like Azami, you can, you know, go back, wait for another one to pop up and create that pressure again, and that's what they've done. That nade, hers. You had no right. He had no right to do that, but he did. And now Acrylate is going to go and try to do the same thing. Steps up into position, and he's going to hold the window, but he's complete. I suppose the Castle allows him to do this, but again, I'm a little bit worried for KAG in this round.
A very aggressive decision, but honestly, BlackRay sees just a small bit of opening. He goes, oh, what's under here? Is it a member of W7? Oh no, it was hers. A massive misplay, perhaps against overzealous. And BlackRay so wants to get aggressive on that window. Really wants to get aggressive. But I don't think that's the right thing to do right now. You have one player lost, or you've lost one player on the board. Just be patient. Wait. You can play the time right now, as W7 are going to hold you. I know you're likely to overextend. Just like that, Nade collects a freebie. And while KAG, you need to slow down. You can't swing everything all the time.
But they will. This is the way that they play. There's KZ getting another kill. Anatun trades it back inside bathroom, but there's KZ to get another one. Anatun adds another to his tally as he gets the double on the round. But at this point, it's over. KZ wins it out as he gets a big round by his standards. And just like that, W7M take a 2-0 lead. And you were talking about, you know, the GOAT conversation as people in chat about it. KZ's on, he's on his way. He is one of the best players in the world. Statistically, last year, people were so far off his stats. Well, they were close, but he was by far and away statistically one of the best players in the world last year. Didn't have an amazing last map by his standards, but this map at the start, this is more like the KZ we expect to see.
I agree. I think when KZ's, you know, hangs up the mouse, you really look back and I think saying, right, obviously it's very difficult to say, oh, who is involved? Too many metrics to follow that one. Too much in that discussion. But like a Mount Rushmore of Siege players, I think you could almost say you could carve his face in that one because his career is on that trajectory so far. Such a dominant player in his region, now internationally. W7M look to be a team that could even form a dynasty as well.
And look at the way that they're doing it, right?
10 seconds left.
Semi-final in Jönköping, final at SI, and then they won the major in Copenhagen. And Gamers8 will be a nice little boon to their tally as well if they can go ahead and win it here and there. But the thing is, this is still CAG they're playing. You could be 2-0 up on attack, and then all of a sudden, within a minute and a half, 2 rounds are over, and CAG have pulled you back twice because you just don't know what they're going to do. Again, they've got a player down by Piano and Arts. It's not something you see teams do a lot of, but Black Grey's trying to make a play. A lot of people might get annoyed. My mindset is if a player backs themselves and they're trying to make a play, I will always back them and never give out about it. If Black Grey gets a kill, it's down to him doing it for himself.
Okay, I like that. I do like that attitude. I'm a big fan of players backing themselves. Anaton with the Thorn Shotgun. This is a very strong combination. Do not knock it until you see the GOAT at work. Anaton, of course, being the GOAT in that conversation. The Thorn, those razor clamps, can really give you a lot of space. Forces them out of position. And you force them to make a snap decision. And that shotgun is pinpoint destructive. As heard, pinpoint precise as bullets to find Curly and the opening pick for w7m, and that basically wheels top for control, and they can work their way through this vert.
Big problem now, and looking at the utility as well, with hers creating a little bit of vertical control, he and KZ can start dropping those nades down through the banisters and barricades as well to attempt to find another kill. Looking at the way they're spread, right, KZ has just decided, you know what, I'm going to step right in towards site. Takes a little bit of damage from the Thorn, but none the worse for wear. Steps back out into Laundry. It was a nice attempt to make a play, but he didn't overextend himself. Got back into Laundry when he realized there wasn't a freebie there for him.
Wise choice. Wise choice. Number advantage. That's what w7m need to play around. Now, it's going to sound boring, but they can trade their way to victory. So they want to play together, play as a unit, and basically force CAG into these difficult positions where they really find themselves vulnerable. Hertz can still work through more verticality, but I don't think they need that. There's a lot of pressure inside of living room, and if they can deal with that, that could be a massive boon for this round. Anton's still down below, lurking in the basement around pantry, and well, they thought about it. They were tempted to push in, but the doors cracked open. That's another thing for the Thorn to think about, but still lurking on these stairs, waiting for w7m to make their move.
What buff did they give Thorn 2 days ago?
1.5.
Yeah, so CAG will still use the M870. Why not? KZ will get a kill as it's execute time, but there is the swing, and it's actually going to be the machine pistol. Suzu C gets one as well. Anaton playing inside of Pantry now. Suzu C swinging back around the other way, but they are playing by Tetris. Suzu C is going to go DBNO, but Anaton steps into cover once more. Stuns, going to be completely blinded, steps on up, and JV92 gets the double to win the round. But yeah, Thorn's got a 1.5. Why use the M870?
Clearly does not believe that 1.5 should be a balancing tool. I think that's what that is.
But Reddit said it's good now.
Do you? Okay. Well, no, it is good. It's a very good. That 1.5 is very good. We saw it was very, very strongly utilized by, I believe, Gomez for M80 as well as Benja for G2 in that previous game on this stream. But alas, we must look towards what we have ahead of us, and w7m have claimed the 3rd round victory in a row, and it was done in a very clean, very concise fashion. Can they continue this momentum rolling on the offensive Villa? Which, again, this map tends to favor the defense, so for CAG, for all the supporters in shot, even including me, we're beginning to get a little bit scared about how this match might play out.
Yes, 3-0 w7m, and honestly, CAG have shown glimmers that they can win rounds on defense here, but the Raging Bulls, well, CYCLOPS were trying to be the Matadors, and you know what do Matadors have? They're flamboyant, they're fun to watch, which is exactly what CAG are, but this Raging Bull isn't going to be tricked by any towels, any sheets being held out by the side. They go straight for the kill, and that's what they've been doing so far in this fixture.
I was going to say, Gibby, normally the Matadors are good at dodging the ball, you know? They have the little red tarp, they go away, and they're stopping that. I think they've been a little bit late on timing every time when they went to dodge the ball so far. Some of them have been in complete control of this area.
Yeah, Anaton went maybe for a peek down at the bottom by the bathroom as well, but nothing found this time. But look, CAG are sticking to their guns. They're still playing in aggressive positions, but when you're attacking this site, you have a pretty good idea of where everybody's going to be. So You know, realistically, some of the defenders might try flank up later on in the round or play inside trophy. There's Blackray getting his kill, so that's a good start for CAG. Now, if you're Blackray, you have two options: fall back or stay aggressive. I say stay aggressive. Herd says go back to the lobby for the next round. 4 versus 4 now. Make that 4 versus 3. Nade's going to add one as Habana pushes in. Nade's in the middle of sight. Yep, why not? Gets another kill for himself. And the two CAG defenders are below. But there is a pulse. And the C4 is still in the pocket, so there's still a chance.
There is still a chance, and it won't be able to do. Oh, it goes through the pool table, right? CAG have a lifeline. Arculi finds that the flank isn't going to be good as Herds catches Anton on that rotation, and now sending the main stairs. It's going to be a difficult fight. Does win it though. JV United 2 falls, and that's going to be a chance for CAG. But Arculi's HP, well, it leaves a lot to be desired. Only around a single point. Will drop that mirror, goes for a deep rotation. Denies the plant. No, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Arculi finds a lifeline. 1 HP and a dream, and CAG find their opening round on Villa.
I am confused. He pops the mirror and swings, which is fine. That's not the thing that's confusing me. He pops the mirror, and the player that was covering behind the bomb chassis walked into study, and the player who was putting down the case just stayed planting by the couch in line of the mirror. Amazing clutch by Arculi, but again, w7m, how do you let him do that?
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, Gibby, with that one. Wow.
Well, it's just it's CAG.
Yeah, you know what? Well, right. Do you think it's fair if we chalk that one up, that round, to CAG?
Yeah. Brilliant play. Look, we're not taking it away. That was incredible clutch. Really well played.
Right. And massive individual skill sets to be able to win those gunfights. Great decision making. Pop the mirror, aggressively go for that rotate, and find the diffuser. Gifted. Take those freebies when they're given to you. And a great reaction. Great read. The peak from Heddles would be so instantaneous. Very well done indeed. And can get themselves their opening round here on Villa. It means it's not going to be a flawless 6-0 half for w7m, and that's perhaps momentum that it can build on. Trophy, statue, next side of choice, and I beg CAG to play a little bit more passive, a little bit more reserved, because last time out on this site, they overextended. They peaked too much, especially towards that master bedroom window. Just play the clock a little bit more, and I think you could see another round or two go for Cyclops.
I still can't get over the fact that C4 hit as well. He was planting on top of the pool table.
5 seconds to go.
It shouldn't have taken him down, but it did.
So, I believe, right, what happened in that position was he was a little bit, so top-down view, he was a little bit to the right-hand side of the pool table, and the C4 wasn't directly underneath either. It was off to the side. So, just about would have been in that radius of the explosion, just. So, I think that was a very, very lucky C4 to find it, but a great moment from CAG, and well, some early damage done to Blackray, who was once again aggressive inside a master bedroom.
And again, I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Anatun playing below, as we always tend to use this phrase, the conduit of information. So what that means, he plays below. Not only does he have a C4, but he can tell the rest of the CAG players, okay, there's 3 people pushing in through master bedroom. You've got this player pushing in through here. It's really valuable intel. Now, when you look at the way CAG are playing this, they're playing so aggressive inside of master bedroom, and this is what happens whenever you raise your head a little bit too high. Sometimes it gets knocked back down. Herds will step directly into sight again, falls back once more as he realizes, you know what? Let's get the breach open. We've got full control now of statue side. Now, if you can clear the player playing on top of Astro, you give yourself a massive chance of just stepping in and sticking that plant. But again, w7m not getting baited into pushing too fast.
The C4 threat below is going to be an issue. They still have one available. That's on Kaida. Curly looks to get aggressive inside a bathroom and finds a freebie to KZ. 4 versus 4. Anton's now upstairs, so that pulse is going to be a relay information, and I imagine the Kaid's going to stay upstairs. So no more treacherous floorboards for w7m to deal with. And oh my, yes. Philippox looks to do that rappel down skylight. We call that a yardie, and will he get it done? Just waiting for that moment, waiting for his team to make the call. Smokes are sent, And it's time to get this going. 60 seconds as the rappel is happening. Can Kai read into this one? W7M get one as Nade lands that shot. I will try and steal it. No, he doesn't rappel. Drops the wolf window, and the case goes down.
So now Anatun, playing the pulse, needs to try to recreate that Oracle magic. Shibisu manages to find one. Anatun another. It's a 2 versus 2 now, but it's still a post-plant situation. You've got about 22 seconds to find the kills. Herds is going to find another one now, leaving it all down to Anatun. We had a pulse clutch in the last round. We're not going to get it this time. Nade pulls one of his own, and it's a round win. Now, yes, I share your disappointment. We didn't get the Yardy, but there's a little lineup that you can get where you time the Candela and you bounce it off that specific brick. It lands inside of trophy side, blinding the players there, which allows you to step through the breach, step in through concrete, and get the case down in default. It's a lineup that you can do. As I said, I'm disappointed that we didn't see the Yardy, but it was a really good execute from W7M.
Yeah, I mean, pinpoint precision on that lineup. The smokes, the Candelas go perfectly. And we saw Habana basically walk in, find a pick, and stick to the case there and then. Great decision making from W7M. They resume regular reviewing. They get the round win and move to that 4-1 advantage. CAG will move themselves now to the defense of the kitchen. Can they make this one stick and get themselves one more round on this defense?
I want them to. I want CAG to build some momentum. You know, I think we're pretty safe to say it's very likely now that they'll be going into that lower bracket matchup tomorrow. But at the same time, I think that they've got a chance in that game. You know, it's two sides. They're going to be playing a side that didn't perform well. You know, on the A stream, the teams that played the loss there did not live up to the billing whatsoever. And, okay, I'm a fan. I really like what they're cooking here. And this could go huge for Black Ray if Anatun can bait Nade to just step up onto that little walkway. If he can get there and Anatun gives the call, Black Ray is a going swinging.
I just love that you can see them theory craft. It's like, all right, okay, Black Ray, wait, I'm gonna give you the call. Almost time, almost, and you can feel it. No, the drone spots it out, so instantly decide, nope, okay, nope. The jig is up. We can't do it anymore. Back to normal defense. As normal as Kai can do, as Hercule is so tantalizingly close. How dangerous is this living life on the edge? That comes to the window and sends it out, but caught by Astro Repel. Philippox finds that almost a freebie, and we wave goodbye to the Solace, one of those high impact defensive ops.
I saw you die like that in ranked yesterday. You were walking with your back to Astro window as it got open.
I don't know. I clutched up big when I needed to.
Do I need to get Pengu to bring the clip up?
No. Listen.
4-1 is the score. I'm going to move it on. I'm not going to go too hard on you as Anatun manages to get it back to a 4 versus 4.
You be calling me out for a ranked. Shame on you.
You do it to me all the time.
Yeah, but it's funny when I do because you've got 0.3 KD. As KZ's deep inside a site, will find the pick towards Memo. Suzy falls. Well, it's not going to be a second. As a trade fountain, a C4 tossed out to underneath the bathtub. So making a little bit of a jacuzzi with an aggressive bubble as Herds looks to creep around upstairs and still crack open that door. Nade inside of laundry could be a high impact. The prone holes prove to be a little bit of a puzzle to solve.
Gridlock as well being used by W7M to lock down any late flanks. As you can see, concrete has been covered, as has bathrooms. So you're investing in the future of the round here by bringing Gridlock. Nade will bide and wait in position. So as you can see, Philippox and Nade, they're going to drone. They're going to wait for Herds to get into position to go for this execute. Now Herds is in position, and well, as soon as he gets into it, he's taken down, but now W7M can't wait. You got to move on without him. 3 versus 2. The push is coming from Laundry. There's an angle being held from way back. There's Philippox getting one through the wall. 2 versus 2 now. 30 seconds to go. More Gridlocks being thrown as smoke as well. And W7M, they're going for the plant.
Nothing Kai can do. There's no utility sent to this, and the cover is good. Not even needed, but Nade's gonna fall. Leave me it all down to Philippox to 1 versus 2. He's gonna be able to find 1 and a second. Kai caught up and in a mess of track stingers placed by the Gridlock, distracted in that key moment, and W7M get themselves a 5th round here on Villa.
Didn't want to go home on day 1 like last year. technically couldn't go home on day one because the lower bracket matchup for this one is tomorrow. But Philippe Box wins the round.
Well played. Very well played indeed. And nicely done. Unfortunately for Kai, both of them got distracted by the track stingers on the ground. And well, it was kind of, you know, Philippe Box swings around and goes, no, you ain't winning this round. I'm not losing a 1v2. And gets it to that position. w7m 2 rounds away from locking out the series and the map of Villa. Kag moved to the offense. And this is where, well, you're going to see Kag do Kag things. Black Ray has swapped on to the Blitz. Ying in play. Finally. You're very excited for that one.
I am. It's if you can't get Anatun on Monty, get Black Ray on Blitz.
I think it's
like,
just as good.
It is. Like, honestly, I think it is so good. Obviously, we're not going to get to see the 1-2 punch of Monty and Blitz being used that Kag like to bring. But again, it's going to have a high impact. But again, when Black Ray brings Blitz, he usually has somebody playing on his shoulder as well. So if he does go down getting aggressive, he will always be able to get traded back. So look for Kag trying to do that. Now, you're on attack. You're 5-1 down. You're Kag. I would say try the hyper-aggressive push. You're not going to win the game from this point, but see if you can upset w7m really early.
That's the key. I think Kag need to hunt for that opening engagement, whether that's using that blitz, using that shock and awe, or it's finding it elsewhere across the map. But I don't feel like that's necessarily even in the strat bowl for this one. They're going to go fast, they're going to go direct, and they're going to try and upset w7m very early in this round. And I really am looking forward to see what they've cooked up in the Kag kitchen.
Well, that's the question. Black Ray's going to get on the drone, looking to see what happens. He's in position down by Art, but he's going to rappel on up. Black Ray's going to go through the window, isn't he? He's going to go through the window. Nope, never mind. But he is planning to go straight through that door whenever the signal comes. The stuns will go through from Ying, and he decides he's going to go towards me instead. Anatun is able to find one. Black Ray sprints towards site, gets the defender's back turned, which is exactly what you want to do on the blitz. But he is going to get taken down. JB92 with the double. Chibisu is going to drop as well. It's a 4 versus 2 now. Acrylate is still on 90 on rappel, a little bit too far behind the rest of the push. w7m know exactly where he is, but he's going to hit the head. It's a 3 versus 1. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Acrylate, wait, give yourself a second now. Don't push. Wait till you get your stim. You've got the ability to use it, but no. You know what, Kag? Just do your thing. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's also going to get that debuff gone away as well. Now, surely we're not going to see a second 1 versus 3. No, Acrylate, don't do this to me. Don't give me hope again. 1 versus 1. These flashbangs are good as well. And no, the shotgun from downtown. It's a trade. But w7m on the defense get the dub anyway. Oh, so close to a second massive clutch from Kag. However, with that round loss, that means one thing, plain and simple. Map, match, and series point now sits with w7m. Can they keep their run in the upper bracket alive? And will they send Kag to that lower bracket right here, right now?
Well, that is a decision that they are going to try to make themselves for Kag. Kag, of course, have different things in mind. The w7m defense, they're bringing Mira. They're going to put the Mira window on that side, which means that you can hold the vault in through closet, which means in reality, you're forcing the attackers to vault in that bathroom window instead. So that's the whole point of putting the Mira window in this position. By putting the castles up on those 2 windows as well, you're stopping utility from being thrown onto the soft side of the wall that Mira's going to be playing behind. And it also means that Mira can play a little bit more safer, and that if you want to play someone in beside where Nate is standing right now, over by Trophy, they don't have a clean line of sight from the master bedroom window at all. So that's why the Castle Mira strat works pretty well over on this side of the map.
Oh, one more round, Gibby. One more round is all w7m need. It would be somewhat sad if our very first time on the mic for Kag ends like this. It would be so rapid, so quick. But that's kind of in character for our favorite team from APAC. Falling with an entryway down below, Black Ray will drone it out and see what control they can find. but I do feel it's a little bit too late for CAG to make much of an emphasis of this matchup. I think w7m have complete control at this point.
We'll say this though. You and I have casted a couple of big comebacks in Gamers8 in the past.
That is true. Last year, SSG Liquid, that was a huge one. Falcons Wild, that was another massive one last year that we got on the mic for. So maybe, just maybe.
There's always a chance. This is Siege, you know, it's that sort of way. I always believe the mindset of best of threes and best of fives are the best type of games to play because the best team will always win. In a best of one, anything can happen. No. JV92 still is playing by Astro. CAG are going to push in from below. And looking at the two operators that are pushing in from below, you've got nades aplenty. So Ackrily has a couple in the back pocket. So does Blackray. Anatun the same. So they're going to try and be explosive in this round, if you pardon the pun. And I think they're going to push up Astro stairs aggressively at some point.
Opening pick's gonna go for Anatun. Finds the nade. CYCLOPS finds a second nade with Blackray. Depth charges detonate at the feet of w7m and 2 bodies fall. Huge advantage early. Perhaps there's still just a little bit of life left in the team from Japan. 60 seconds and change. What's next on this scoring? Well, JV92 decides to write the end script for Ackrily and sends him to observation.
Tibisu still holding that side window and master bedroom on the southern side, hoping to get a freebie, but Philippox isn't going to get that aggressive. They've forced now CAG to push from study. And funny enough, w7m have the answer. They've held everybody back. It's almost as if they read the fact that when they shut down the push from below, you'll force them to push through study. So Nade is in position, and with the castle, you're forcing them now to push this way as well. Anatun is going to step inside. The beeper revealing his position. Nade will step across. There's the kill. 3 versus 3. Back in the hands of w7m. Fleetbox, Nade, all holding angles, waiting for something to happen. Blackray is going to skip a step and go past Nade, but he will peek through that zombie door in a few seconds. But this is a big fight. Fleetbox gets one, JV92 gets the other, and it's so long. Good night. w7m advancing the upper bracket, and dropping down to the lower bracket will be CAG. But it was still a fun one to watch.
I mean, that's what we're here for. It's like you're watching an action blockbuster summer release movie. You know the script, you know what's going to happen, but you're there for the ride, and that's what CAG gave to us today. They go to the lower bracket. They will face elimination tomorrow. w7m stay with that upper bracket advantage. One more victory away from booking themselves to take it to phase 2 of this competition. A very strong performance against their rival team from Japan.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's always a tough match whenever you're going up against the current best team in the world. And I say best team in the world because they won the major. They're still getting better. Even today, there was times where they looked unplayable. And considering CAG are a side that Brazilian teams fear, I think they did a great job in just going ahead and winning that one. But there's one thing I do want to talk about, right? w7m, if they go all the way and win this one, you think back to last year, BDS, they did the massive run. They won Gamers8. Then they went and won the Japan Invitational. Then they went and won the major. I think that w7m can go better again. But if they do, I've seen the massive tattoo that our boy KZ has gotten of the massive major trophy on his leg. Does he get anything to add to that this year? Do you think there'll be a Gamers8 logo and potentially an NA major logo there as well?
Oh, it's a difficult one to say. I mean, I think w7m are very much in the contention to be one of the best teams here, but we have a highlight package to look at some of the best action from the matchup that we had here. I mean, it was mostly w7m, but the rounds CAG got, basically, were down to super heroic plays from them. And that clutch, that 1v3, 1 HP clutch, one to write back about. But yes, I mean, w7m, I think, pretty safe to say, are the team that I'm going to say are my favorites going into this competition.
I think everyone thought the same. You know, you and I had a discussion about this. We had a little video out there where we spoke about it, and we said w7m are likely the team that we expect to, at the very least, be at the final. But again, it was a game full of clutches and big moments with it. And I think we might get an interview in a little bit But before we do that, is that a statement? Did W7M just throw down the gauntlet?
I think let's wait until the next matchup W7M have tomorrow, or even later today, I believe. That's going to be the real test of how we see them line up in terms of this competition. If they're able to keep that run going, as much as I like CAG and as much as I love the APAC region for the action they put out, it was kind of as following the script matchup. We knew W7M were likely going to be the victors, and that's what we had. It was exciting. Don't get me wrong, but W7M need, I think, to be tested and challenged. That's gonna be really where I see them be kind of challenged.
So look, we're going to get an interview now, and we're going to get to interview somebody who had the pleasure of playing in Gamers8 last year. Let's welcome in Philippox from W7M to have a little bit of a chat. So first off, Philippox, great to see you win a game at W7 or at Gamers8 after last year. Massive congratulations on being not only major champions, but coming into this event and playing very well. My question for you, I heard that Brazilian teams were afraid of CAG. Have you dispelled that fear?
First of all, hello guys. Thank you very much for the words. I finally won a match here in Gamers8. Last year wasn't a good year for a good event for my team. And about the question, yeah, I was afraid of CAG. They beat a lot of Brazilians in the past, but today it was good for us. It was a good match for us.
And with the way that W7M play, with so much confidence in the fact that everybody is, you know, so trusting that everyone's going to do their job, how have you found the atmosphere inside W7M? And do you think that as a roster, you guys have what it takes to dominate all year round?
The atmosphere here in the team is the best I could ever ask for. Like everyone is friends, everyone is always joking with each other. If we have a problem, we solve it right away. So it's the best that I can ask. And I think we can dominate all year because we have 5 very skilled players. We have a staff that's very good, always adapting, creating new things. So yeah, I think we can dominate. It depends only about us.
And before we wrap up the interview, I want to give you the opportunity to speak to the W7M fans. So feel free to do it in Portuguese if you like. But if there's anything you want to say to the W7M fans out there, floor is yours.
Thank you guys, everyone who support W7M. I know there's a lot of you that are non-Brazilians that support us, that like our play style. So thank you very much. Keep watching us. We won't disappoint you. E obrigado aí, galera que tá acompanhando, brasileiro aí, BR. Tamo junto demais, galera aí no Brasil aí acompanhando, sempre torcendo pela gente. Tamo junto demais. Obrigado.
Thank you so much, Philippox. Best of luck in the rest of the tournament. I'll be watching for sure. I think you guys are definitely going to put in a hell of a performance over the next few weeks. So whip it. That was the words out of Philippox's mouth. Again, isn't there just something ice cold about the way he speaks? He's just so confident about himself and his team.
Why wouldn't you be? I mean, you got to think about that. You know, W7M had a very strong run at the last major and a great opening matchup in this as well. They're on Cloud9 right now. They're carrying all that momentum from being crowned major champions, and they want to be Gamers8 champions as well. And you can feel that, and if they can build that momentum on, they are very much high on my list of contenders that can do it.
They are indeed. But that is but 2 of the 3 acts that we have today. We have a pretty fun game coming up next. The first elimination match of the whole tournament. G2 will be taking on the hometown heroes, the Falcons. Winner goes on to the next round of the lower bracket. The loser goes home. I know the home team will want to defend their turf, but not only that, Whippet, there is a big difference in prize money as well. The winners of this game guarantee a minimum 125,000 for their team. The losers will go home with 75. While you all try to count up the maths like I'm going to do in my head, we're going to jump to a break. And when we come back, we'll have that banger of a matchup on screen for you. We'll see you guys when the players are ready.